Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
I started recording. Okay. So you take the heading and access example. Okay, so we'll discuss this program today. So the following example shows all combination of the access control modifiers. This example has two packages and five classes. Okay. So two packages means in Windows environment, these are the folders. Okay. And sometimes it will not look like folder, but it will contain Java files. Okay. So in that way also we can understand folders or directories or container which contains Java files. So Java files are nothing but Java classes here. Okay. So remember that the classes for two different packages needs to be stored in directories named after their respective package. So in this case, P1 and P2. So P1 is one folder or directory, and it is a package in Java. So P2 is another folder or directory, and it is a package in Java. So following is the source code for the first package P1. So this package P1 defines three classes. So three classes means three Java files. So protection dot Java, derived dot Java, same package dot Java. Okay. The first class defines four int variables in each of the legal protection modes. So in the previous example only we have just discussed. Okay, like five Java files we have taken A, B, C, D, E. So in class A, so I have declared four variables. Okay. So that is of private, public, and protected, and which has no modifier. Okay. Similarly, here also they have taken four int variables. So four int variables in the sense one will be of no modifier. So when you look at this table, no modifier, private, protected, and public. Okay. Next, the variable n is declared with the default protection. Okay, default protection in the sense with no modifier. Okay, n underscore pri is private, n underscore pro is protected, and n underscore public is public. Okay, so now see, you look at this comment. Okay, so from here the program starts. Okay, this is file protection dot java. So I have to rename. That means once you type this program, so program starts from the word package. Okay, package keyword, and it will end at the closing brace. You look at the last. Okay, so once you type this program in the notepad or in Eclipse or in NetBeans editor, okay, or any other Java editors, so you have to save this file as protection.java. So in yesterday's class we have discussed, like you just look at this statement. So when we have the Java classes where there is no main method. Okay, so the thing is, if there is main method, then we can save that file by that class name. Okay, if there is a main method in the class, then we can save that file by that class name. If there is no main method, then you have to search for the class where there is public access specifier. Okay, so you have to search for the class where there is public access specifier. So now if you look at this code, public class protection, so that means this file should be stored with protection.java. Okay, so two things you have to remember. One is, if the class contains main method, you save that file with that class name, or if the class does not contain main method and if it is declared as public, you save the file with that class name. Okay, now in this class we have four variables. Okay, n underscore pri, n underscore pro, n underscore public. Just they have given the values 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so four types of access specifier. That is no modifier, private, public, and protected. Okay, now there is one constructor, that is protection. So class name and method name is matching here. Class name is protection, method name is protection, so it is a constructor. Okay, so in this constructor what they are doing, just they are printing the values. So one message, that is base constructor. So base constructor in the sense, it is a base class. Base class is nothing but super class. Okay, so we can call it as super class or base class. In C++ we call base class and derived class. In Java we will call super class and subclass. Okay, so here, so just one message you have to write. It is a base constructor. That means this constructor refers to the base class. Okay. Next, all the values of the variables we are printing: n pri, n pro, n public. Okay. So these four values we are printing. Now, if you look at these five println statement, in none of these statements you will get error. Okay. All are valid statements. You will not get any error in these statements, because if you look at the table here. Okay. So this table, so when you consider the private data member. You look at the private data member. So data member, uh, sorry, in the same class, if you look at all the access specifiers, private, public, protected, and no modifier, all are accessible without any restriction. That means in the same class, okay, without any restrictions, all are accessible. So similarly here also, you look at this class class is protection. Inside we have created four variables. So these four variables you can access within this class without any restriction, whether it is private or public or protected or with no modifier. Okay, that is within the same class. Okay. Now coming to the next class. So derived.java, the name itself tells whenever we come across the word derived, so it is getting the properties of something. That is the meaning. So derivation, we will call it as derivation in mathematics. So derivation means getting some properties of the other thing and creating a new one. Okay, that is the derived. So here the name derived itself tells it is a subclass. So before the keyword extends, what you write, that is the subclass. After the keyword extends, what you write, that is the superclass. That means base class. Okay. So here protection is the base class or superclass. Derived is the subclass or derived class. Okay. So we can call it as derived class also. Okay. Now you look at the constructor. So in the constructor, again one message you printed, derived constructor. That means subclass. We are in the subclass. That is the meaning of this message. We are in the subclass. Okay. So when you come to the subclass, you just look at the variables from the base class. N, NPRI, NPRO, N public. Okay. Now out of these four variables, which are accessible in the derived class? Okay. Now by this time you may know which are accessible. Okay. So in the subclass, only private variable cannot be accessed because private variable cannot be inherited. Okay. So when we are creating subclass means we are inheriting the properties of superclass. So when you are inheriting the properties of superclass, so except private variable, all the other variables can be accessed. Variables and methods both. Okay. So, but if you declare the variable or a method as private, then it cannot be inherited. So when you try to print the value of n underscore pri, only for that line you will get error. For remaining lines you will not get any error. So you look at this class, you will come to know. So println statement, derived constructor, that message, for that message you will not get any error. And if you try to print the value of n, you will not get any error. So you look at the comments here. In the third println, n underscore pri, you are trying to print the value of the variable which is of private. You will get error here because it cannot be accessed outside the class. So you look at the comment here, class only. Inside the class where it is defined, in that class only it can be accessed. Okay, so in protection class, you will not get any error. But in the subclass derived class, you will get error for n underscore pri. The other two variables it can be accessed. That is n underscore pro and n underscore public. So you look at this table again, will come to me. So same package subclass, second row. So which are the things which are accessible? No modifier variable, protected variable, public variable. So these variables can be accessed. Whereas the variable which is declared as private cannot be accessed. So it is there. The word no is there. So it cannot be accessed. You get an error. So if you remember this table, so the below programs will become very easy. Okay. Next. So this is about the superclass in package P1 and subclass in package P1. Next, one more thing is there. So superclass, subclass, and non-subclass. So you look at this table, you will come to me. So same class, that is superclass or base class, same package subclass, same package non-subclass. So we have to go for the third thing, that is non-subclass, but it should be in the same package. Okay. So non-subclass means extends keyword should not be there. Okay. You look at this class. This is same package dot Java class, same package. There is no extends keyword. Okay, there is no extends keyword, and after the extends keyword also there is no class name. So this is a non-subclass. It is a non-subclass, but it is in the same package. So you look at the statement package P1 in all the files. In same package dot Java, the first statement is package P1. In derived dot Java, first statement is package P1. In production dot Java, the first statement is package P1. That means in P1 folder, these files we are storing. Protection.java, derived.java, same package.java. These files we are storing in folder or directory P1, that is in package P1. But here same package, it is a non-subclass. So if it is a non-subclass, then we should see which variables we can access. For which variable we will get an error and which variables we can access. See, one thing you have to remember, it's very easy. Private variable cannot be accessed anywhere other than its own class. So that is the rule. So that means for this variable 100% will get an error. Okay, private variable cannot be accessed outside its class. So if you look at the table, only for same class it is yes, for remaining all the things it is no. Okay, for all the rows if you observe, same package subclass, same package non subclass, different package non subclass, for all it is no. So that means n underscore pri variable cannot be accessed in non subclass. Now coming to the other three. Okay, other three modifiers. What are the other three modifiers? No modifier, protected access specifier, public access specifier. You look at this row. Yes, yes, and yes. Okay, understood. So in same package non-subclass, no modifier variable can be accessed, protected variable can be accessed, public variable can be accessed. Only private variable cannot be accessed. So if you look at the second and third row, that is same package subclass, same package non-subclass. For variables, it looks like same thing. Private cannot be accessed, the other three can be accessed. Again, for same package non-subclass, private cannot be accessed, other three can be accessed. So if you go to the same package .java, you see again same thing it is there. Okay, so protection constructor they are calling. Okay, so this I will tell you later why it is called. Next, println statement is there. So one message. See, messages you have to write according to the requirement or according to the functionality. So you just look at the protection.java file, base constructor, message is base constructor. Next, if you come to the derived class, derived constructor, okay, that is the message. So it should be particular, then only you will understand. When you come to the same package, the word same package is there and constructor is there. Okay, fine. But whatever the property, whether it is a subclass or non-subclass, it is a non-subclass because there is no extends keyword. So non-subclass same package constructor. It is in the same package, but it is not a subclass. So you have to write the message in this way: non-subclass same package constructor. Next. So which are the variables it can be accessed? See, n variable it can be accessed. See, why we have written p.n is, I will tell you why we have written. Because see, if you look at the derived.java, it is a subclass. So whenever there is a subclass, see, we are getting the variables directly. That means, see, we need not write any object like d.n or p.n like this. We need not write. Okay, directly we can get those variables. But if it is a non-subclass, so if it is a non-subclass, then there will be no link between base class and this class. So there is no link between protection .java and same package .java. Link in the sense it is in the same package, but it is not a subclass. So if it is not a subclass, you cannot access directly. So for that, what we have to do is, if it is in the same package, first you create an object. So object of which variables you are accessing. So I want protection.java variables. Okay. So create the object for that. Protection P is an object equals to new protection. Once you create the object, then you say p.n, p.n underscore pri, p.n underscore pro, p.n underscore public. So in this way you can access one. Okay. So this can be accessed, right? So only private variable cannot be accessed. Okay. Now this is one part of this project. That is one package we have spoke here. What is that? In package P1, that is in folder P1, or we can call directory P1, we have three files, three Java classes. Java classes are nothing but Java files. What are those? Protection.java, derived.java, same package.java. Okay. So one, I can show you the. You just see this. See. So these files belongs to the package P1. That is, these files are stored in folder P1. Derived, protection, same package, and one more file is the demo. I will tell you about that. Okay. So protection.java, derived.java, same package.java. These are the three files, and we can consider it as Java classes. Java classes and Java files are same. Next, now we have to execute this. So how to execute? That is the question, because in none of these files main method is there. So Java programs, there are two ways of execution. So some Java programs will execute by using main method, and so, for some Java programs there is no main method, like applet programming, Java swings, applet programming. In future it is there. For that main method is not required, but the execution method is different. I will tell you there. So here main method is required for these files. So if you look at the production.java or derived.java or a same package class, there is no main method. So now we require one class with main method. So now they are telling, if you wish to try this package, here is a test file. You can see the test file for package P1 is shown below, demo.java. Okay, so there is one file called as demo.java, that is a class. Okay, for this main method is there. Now once you get the main method, there you can create the objects of all the classes, then you can execute very easily. Okay, if you look at this image, so demo.java is there, right? In that main method is present. Now we will see what is the main method here. Now you look at this main method. Okay, so what we are doing here, protection ob1 object 1 equals to new protection, derived ob2, that is object 2 equals to new derived, same package ob3 equals to new same package, that is object 3. Just we are creating the objects of the classes, that is object 1 for protection.java, that is protection class, object 2 for derived class, object 3 for same package class. Understood? OB1 is an object 1 for protection class, OB2 is an object 2 for class derived, OB3 is an object 3 for class same package. So it's very simple. What it will do is, when you create object 1 for protection, it will call the constructor of the protection class. When you create the object 2 for derived, it will call the constructor of the derived. When you write the object 3 for same package, it will call the constructor of the same package. So I will show you how it works. Now you look at this diagram. Okay. See here, first I will explain about the P1 folder, that is package P1. So package P1 I will explain. We just look at this box, folder or directory. In this we have Java files. Java files are nothing but Java classes. So what are those Java files? Production.java, derived.java, same package.java, demo.java. In this, protection.java and derived.java are linked. That is, derived is a subclass of protection, whereas same package is not a subclass, but it is in the folder P1 only, that is in the same package. Demo.java contains main method to execute all of these files. Okay. And what you do is you just copy till here. So later we'll explain the tracing. Okay. So one by one file you copy it. Take the heading and access example, then you start writing. Okay. So copy the notes, later we'll explain.
Scroll, sir.
So all of you written protection.java and direct.java.
So,
Okay, fine. Just copy this. Don't copy the output. After discussion, you copy. Okay, you just look at this image file. Um, so, so you can consider in this way package P1 folder or directory. Just you take down this box so that it will be easy for you to understand. So, so only for package P1 you take down. Finish writing. So we'll see how this program works. Okay. So we have to look at the main method where the objects for various classes have declared. Okay. So now let us go to tracing part to understand. Uh, so look at this image file. So here, so in the main method, first line, that is protection OB1 equals to new protection. So when we look at this line, so when this line is executed, so we can understand this way. So you just look at this image file. So it will call the constructor protection, okay, which is present inside the protection.java, that is inside package 1. Okay, so demo.java file, it is present in package 1. So two files with the same name, that is demo.java. One is in package 1, that is in folder P1, and another one in folder P2. Okay, so we are executing the demo.java which is in P1. Okay, so when we execute that file, so inside that class, that is class demo, we have the main method. So once main method is executed, so OB1, that is object 1, is created for protection class. Then it will call the constructor protection. So if you look at the constructor here, so in the constructor we are printing the uh, values of n and one message, that is base constructor. Okay, so n and n underscore pri, that is private variable, protected and public variable, with the message base constructor. So first this output is displayed. Okay, if you look at the output, see, base constructor with n equals to 1, n underscore pri equals to 2, n underscore pri equals to 3. n underscore public equals to 4. So this is printed for base constructor. Okay, next line is derived ob2 equals to new derived. So this is the derived class. Okay, that means in the same package, if you look at this, in the same package derived.java, we are executing the class called as derived.java just by calling the constructor of that class. Okay, if you call the constructor of that class, so it is linked to that class and it will call the constructor. But here one point you have to remember, whenever you call the subclass constructor, always, so first superclass constructor is executed, then the subclass constructor is executed. That is the process. Okay, so here if you look at the subclass constructor, that is a derived class constructor. So derived ob2 equals to new derived, so it will call the constructor derived. Okay, so once it calls the constructor derived, so what are the things present in that constructor? We just look at this image file, derived constructor message and n value. So n underscore pro, that is variable which we have declared as protected and variable which we have declared as public. For private variable, we will get an error. So there is a comment for that. So that line is not executed. So if we remove that comment, we'll get an error. Okay. Now actually these three messages we should get: derived constructor and n value, so protected variable value, public variable value. But if you look at the output, see, already base constructor message it is printed with all the values, but once again it will execute the base constructor, because whenever the subclass constructors are called, so the thing is it will call the base constructor first, then again it will call the derived constructor. So without calling the superclass, it will not call the derived class. So once again base constructor is called, even though that line is not present here. So only one time it is present, protection ob1 equals new protection, only one time it is present, but here it is printing two times, because so first time it is printing for the line protection ob1 equals to new protection. Next, for derived ob2 equals to new derived, for this line also, first base constructor is called, then the derived constructor is called. So it looks like two times it is printing. So of course it is printing two times, base constructor with all the values and derived constructor. Okay, so till here. Next, if you go for the third line, same package ob3 equals to new same package, that is object 3 we are creating. Okay, for the same package class. So this one we can understand in this file, in this image file. So look at this, same package ob3 equals to new same package. So here also, if you look at the same package constructor, the message is non subclass same package constructor, then all the values. But before that again base constructor is called, because we have written manually, we have written protection p equals to new protection. So we have written that line, so base constructor is called. So there is a difference here. So this is the same package, but it is a non subclass. Because it is a non subclass, directly it will not call the base constructor. So we have to call the base constructor, then only it is executed. Okay, but if you look at the derived constructor, so we have not written protection p equals to new protection in the constructor derived, but still it is called, because that is the way it will execute. Always subclass constructor will be called after the superclass constructor. That is derived class constructor is called after parent class constructor, that is superclass constructor. But in case of same package, it is not a subclass. So but still if we write protection p equals new protection, base class constructor is called, then this same package constructor will work. Okay, so if you look at the output, so again base constructor with all the values, non subclass same package constructor with all the values. I hope you people have understood. So you copy the this file p1 underscore demo. Okay, you take down this image file tracing.
Completed, sir.
So same package, OB3 equals new same package. So this tracing you copy it. So here one thing you have to notice is it is a non-subclass. Okay, that you have to notice. Finished?
Completed, sir.
Okay. Copy the output now.
So